Long before this vast, tranquil lake existed, long before the mists danced upon its surface at dawn, there was a quiet valley, nestled between mountains and filled with life. The rivers here ran clear, the fields were green, and the air was filled with the sounds of a vibrant community. This is the story of that valley, and how it was transformed forever by a single, broken promise. In a small wooden hut by the river, lived a young fisherman named Toba. He was a kind and hard-working man, but his life was filled with a quiet loneliness. Each morning, he would rise before the sun to mend his nets, his hands calloused from years of toil. He would walk through the lush rice paddies, his gaze often drifting towards the other villages. He saw families laughing together, children playing in the fields, and a warmth that he deeply yearned for but could not find. There were many moments of silence in his small hut, where the only company was the gentle murmur of the river and the weight of his own solitude. One afternoon, as Toba cast his net into the shimmering river, he felt a powerful tug. He struggled, pulling with all his might, expecting a large catch. But when he finally hauled the net ashore, he found only a single, magnificent fish. Its scales shimmered with a golden light, glowing so brightly it seemed to hold the sun within it. As he watched in absolute awe, a miracle unfolded before his eyes. The golden fish began to transform, its form shifting and changing amidst a soft, ethereal glow. In its place stood the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, her eyes as deep and gentle as the river itself. She spoke, her voice like a soft melody. "I will become your wife," she said, her gaze steady and full of a profound sincerity. "I will share my life with you, and bring you the happiness you seek. But you must make me a solemn promise, a vow you must never, ever break. You must swear to never reveal my true origin to anyone. Tell no soul that I was once a fish." Toba, completely enchanted and overwhelmed with emotion, hesitated for only a second before nodding. He looked into her eyes and gave his word, his heart swelling with a hope he had not felt in years. He promised. And so, their life together began. They were married in a simple ceremony, surrounded by the warm smiles of the villagers. Their home, once quiet and empty, was now filled with laughter and love. Soon, their happiness multiplied with the birth of a beautiful baby boy, whom they named Samasir. The years that followed were a blur of joy. Toba would take his son to the river, patiently teaching him how to fish, his heart full as he watched the boy grow. The mother's gentle presence filled every corner of their lives. She would sing as she cooked, her smile a constant source of light and warmth. The soft, golden light that had first brought them together seemed to linger in their home, a symbol of their perfect happiness. But as Samasir grew older, a shadow began to creep into their idyllic life. The boy became stubborn and disobedient, with an insatiable appetite that often left little for others. In the village, whispers started to circulate. The other children found Samasir strange, different. At home, the father, Toba, grew increasingly frustrated. He tried to be patient, to guide his son, but the boy's willfulness tested his limits. The once harmonious home now held a quiet tension. During dinner, unspoken words would hang in the air between husband and wife, a silent acknowledgement that the perfect peace they once knew was beginning to fracture. One sweltering afternoon, Toba was working tirelessly in the fields, his energy drained by the heat. He had asked his wife to send Samasir with his lunch. Hours passed. Finally, he saw his son strolling casually towards him, but the basket he carried was suspiciously light. When Toba opened it, he found it completely empty. All the food was gone. Samasir had eaten it all on the way. In that moment, years of mounting frustration and the exhaustion of the day converged into a single, explosive point of anger. The world seemed to slow down. Toba's face contorted with rage, and he raised his voice, shouting words he would instantly regret, words that would shatter their world. "You ungrateful child," he roared. "You are the son of a fish." The moment the words left his lips, a deafening silence fell over the valley. The wind stopped. The birds ceased their singing. The world held its breath. Toba saw his wife, standing not far away. Her face was a mask of pure, heart-wrenching devastation. The promise, the sacred vow that was the very foundation of their family, was broken. Dark, ominous clouds began to gather in the sky, swallowing the sun and casting a grim shadow over the land. His wife turned to him, her voice no longer a soft melody but a calm, painful whisper that cut through the silence. "You have broken your promise," she said, tears streaming down her face. She turned to their son, her expression shifting to one of urgent love. "Run, my child," she pleaded. "Run to the highest hill and do not look back. She gave him one last, desperate hug, a final goodbye filled with a mother's infinite, sorrowful love. Then, the sky broke. The storm began not as rain, but as a cataclysm. Thunder cracked like the sky itself was splitting apart, and lightning tore through the darkness. A torrential downpour began, unlike anything the valley had ever seen. The river, their source of life, swelled with a terrifying rage, its banks overflowing and unleashing a violent torrent of water. The floodwaters tore through the village with unstoppable force, ripping houses from their foundations and uprooting ancient trees as if they were mere twigs. Wide, cinematic shots would show the entire valley succumbing to the deluge. Toba, in a state of shock and regret, tried desperately to save his home, his belongings, but it was futile. The water rose relentlessly, and he fell to his knees, a lone figure in a world being washed away, the roaring water a testament to his broken word. The flood filled every corner of the valley, a vast and powerful force of nature reclaiming the land. As the storm finally began to fade, a profound quiet settled once more. The camera rises high into the air, revealing a breathtaking and tragic transformation. The lush green valley, the village, the fields, everything was gone. Submerged. In its place was a vast, sprawling body of water, its surface reflecting the clearing sky. A new lake had been formed from the tears of a broken heart and the fury of a broken promise. The soft, emotional music returns, a samba elegy for a world that was lost. And that is how Lake Toba was born, a majestic and beautiful scar on the landscape. A timeless reminder that a promise, once given, is sacred. It must never be broken. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you were moved by the legend of Lake Toba, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, F4C3SD0RY, for more epic legends. We'll see you in the next one.